Yo, yo, yo. What's up, King? What's up, Joe?
What up?
Good to have you, Joe.
How you
Thank you,
doing?
guys.
Congratulations on all the recent success. You're doing really, really well, man. I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it. You put a lot of time into this. You make a lot of sacrifices so to finally start reaping some of the rewards, that it has to offer in this life. It's a good feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Thanks for making it work today, too. I was texting you the other day on Instagram, and it says, I'll see you Monday at 3 p.m. or whatever. And I was like, we don't shoot on Mondays. And I look back and I'm like, because Karen said he thinks you're going on Monday. I'm like, oh, shoot. So I go back and when you talk text, it picks up, other stuff. I was like, shoot. So thanks for making it work
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries. It's one of those things like in this life, the higher I've actually started to climb, I've had to become more versatile. Like, so in a way, it's like you just make it happen because there is no like the perfect bodybuilding life is having structure and routine, right? The
No.
way you want to do it. But the higher you go, you have to make time for things and just audible. So we'll make it happen.
So, Joe, where'd you grow up? Well, tell us a little about you. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into bodybuilding? When was your first show? Did you play sports when you're younger? Give us a rundown.
Yeah, so I'm a California guy. I grew up in LA area in a city called Downey. I went to a school called Warren High School. I did play sports growing up, only football. I've always played football. I did start off as a fat kid, so that's usually what segues into bodybuilding for some, and wanting to look good to impress people. So it's like, yeah, that fat kid backstory really helped me continue being a bodybuilder. However, I had to lose weight early on in my life to be able to play football, and because there was weight caps and stuff in the divisions, and so I had to lose weight at a young age and stuff, and I was just good at it. Like I don't know why, but I've had the ability to starve over time. Like just everything that bodybuilding's ever asked of, I lived somewhere down in my life where I've had to bulk up or lose weight or stuff. And playing football, you lift weights. My coaches in football actually even had our strength training program, and it was set up like a bodybuilding program. And they knew that they're like, we like to train like bodybuilders here. That's just what their philosophy was. So I even learned bodybuilding style training through football, and it transferred because we did like a lot of pyramid sets and stuff like that. So we got stronger like we're supposed to, but there was muscular size being gained as well compared to a regular strength and conditioning program. So like we would play other schools, and the coach would literally ask like, "Hey, what the hell are you kids doing over there?" Because we're just bigger. And but when it came to football, I was a bit of linebacker. I've always had, not being aware, but in hindsight, I had the genetics for this. Like I said, I had the ability to push food and starve when I had to, lose weight, gain weight. I developed muscularly like faster than most of my teammates. It was like one of three of us that just blew up as soon as we touched weights. I was stronger than most of the kids on my freshman team, and I moved up to varsity right away. I was, starting middle linebacker as a sophomore, and um, just became a football captain and all that stuff. So I excelled once I stopped being that fat kid because the genetics started playing a role. And I've always said that if you are a fat kid to start and you learn to develop discipline over time, you're going to be an incredible bodybuilder because you're going to have the appetite to be able to push the food to get to this kind of size. So just all those things I had growing up and going into football and learning discipline through football, and um, just excelling, doing the same work that everybody else was doing. There was just things that stood out. And so I didn't want to play football anymore because I got banged up and stuff, but I fell in love with the weights right away. And it was one of those things like when you're good at something, it's like, well, you're gonna enjoy it more. So I was just good at lifting weights. I would like gain strength really fast, and developed faster than everybody, and I had an appetite, so I just kept growing. And so after football, I took a year off. I didn't play in college because again, I had too many injuries. But
What kind of
for
injuries, Joe? Like, did you have to have surgery, or did you just kind of like little, tendonitis stuff, or what's going on?
so I broke my foot twice, and then my knee. I know I'm not exactly sure what I did to my knee, but I hit it real bad one time and it blew up with water, a ton of water that they had to drain. And it's never been the same since. And it got hit twice where it blew up like that. And so I'm pretty sure I tore something minor in there. Even to this day, like I can't sit on a plane very long without stretching my leg out or on a car ride. So whatever I did to my knee, I did. But it hasn't hindered my like it hasn't caused atrophy and stuff like that. It's just like there's a certain discomfort that comes with sitting down too long. Shoulder injuries, I developed bone spurs through all the hitting constantly and banging and even heavy bench pressing on a flat bench. I'm sure caused some of that damage. So I've had shoulder surgery on both sides of my
Okay.
shoulders. I had some sort of nerve problem for a little bit. When you guys have played football, I'm sure, or know what a stinger is. I
Yep.
was getting stingers to the point where like no one had to hit me. If my head moved too quick, my arm would just die out. And that I don't know what it took to fix that, but it eventually went away once I stopped playing. But that was like the last injury where I was like, you know what, I'm done playing this because I can't even like want to be aggressive to hit somebody as hard as I can without being afraid anymore. Because it's like once I'm hit, I have to get out.
Yeah.
Like
Once you start getting injured and all that stuff, it's not. It makes it not fun. It's like I
that's
can't
what
go
I'm
my
saying.
hardest, and so a lot of people get into bodybuilding that way. I did the same way with soccer. My knees, I got Osgood slaughters, is where your knees swell up like that much after
Yeah.
games. And I eventually got into weightlifting. But I don't know, King, how your high school was, but man, our weightlifting or whatever coaches were terrible. I was in two different classes because I was in athletics, long distance, and then I was in soccer too. I excelled in soccer, but I would already work out once already during the day when I started working out. And then my other coach, I was like, I already worked out today. He'd make me do another second workout, the same stuff, bench, deadlift, squats. And I'm like, I'm overtraining and I'm skinny because I'm playing soccer. So that, you're fortunate enough to, have had those coaches that kind of set you straight from an early beginning.
Yeah, Joe's story sounds oddly familiar to me because if you ever saw the movie Remember the Titans,
Yeah.
yeah, I went to Marshall High School. That's who we did.
Oh, damn.
So Coach Yost came and became the head coach of Marshall. So the first thing he did my freshman year is he said, you all are coming, all of you are coming to the weight room. And he built up our weight room and it made us all, it got so crazy that Jesse Jackson had to come to our school and talk to us about steroid abuse because we were all
Oh,
jacked.
damn. Whatever it
So
takes.
we're walking out on the field. Everybody's like, what the hell is going on? Just like what you just said. What is going on? Because we were all jacked up. We had Mike McCrory went to the Ravens. We had Pete Sheriff went to the Cardinals. We had his brother. He went to Brian Lyle and went to the Seattle Seahawks. It was a crazy class that
Wow.
we had. But to Joe's point, that weightlifting, man, it made all the fucking difference in the world.
Joe, were a
Yeah.
lot of the guys juiced up at that time in high school?
I mean, from what I'm aware of, no. It's just
Mhm.
we had guys that we were like shorter. All of us were shorter, and my class of guys is just pretty damn strong, and we all were able to eat. We're just bigger,
Mhm.
like bigger kids, you know. So I think just with the way the team fed us, because they always kind of had food for us,
That's awesome.
and then the style of training, being that young, you're gonna respond. I mean, I think everybody. I mean, everyone I grew up with in football, everyone I grew up with in football, they they trained hard and they had an appetite. They were able to eat. So it's like I'm telling you, like I've explained this to so many people that food is so much more important than everything else. And I saw it as a kid. My mom knew to tell me to make sure to eat, because she knew I was working out. My mom from Nebraska, she's corn fed herself. So
Okay.
it's like they just knew. And so, but as far as the most intense thing that we knew of was creatine back then. That
Yeah.
was it.
I
Yeah.
remember when creatine came out and people were taking, and everybody thought, all the parents thought it was steroids, and like I wasn't allowed to take it. I don't know. Was it like that with you, King, too, when it came
No,
out?
we had hot stuff. Hot stuff came out, and it was
Oh yeah, you're right.
everybody got
You were
jacked
already
to the gills.
bodybuilding
They were like,
times, man.
"What the hell is this stuff?"
But hot stuff had something in it, though, right?
It has a jack. It had what should we call it? What's that mild steroid from Japan? Turinabol. It had,
Oh,
it had
okay.
5 milligrams of Turinabol.
Oh shit.
Oh well, Turinabol is a great drug. That's a great drug. I mean, we had the pro hormones and all that too. I remember I used to shoplift from Tom Thumb all the time. I was a little shit, and I would take all the supplements and then resell them at school. But we were taking like steroids at like 16. We didn't even know it. Like we were breaking out everywhere. With all the nasty pro hormones, and back then the supplement, you had half the. I mean, Superdrol used to be a supplement over the counter. I mean, it was crazy back then, the supplement world.
Yeah.
So with this guy said, what was the very first moment you knew bodybuilding wasn't just a hobby and it was your destiny?
I mean, I can get to that question. I was kind of building up to that actual moment. So I'll go back to after football. I took a year off and from everything. It was kind of like I needed a break from because I kind of fell out of love with football, and that's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I wanted to make the NFL. Every little football player's dream. And then I came to realize it's not going to be my path, and so took a year off. And that first year out of high school, I got really depressed because I think as an athlete, when all you know is school and football, and then whatever time left you have, when you go into the real world and you just go to work and go home, it's freaking weird. Like it doesn't feel right. You feel like you're missing something.
Right.
And it took me a year to figure that out. And so I got kind of chubby and stuff, doing like partying and all that. And then I was like, you know what? Like I saw my friends one day, they kept working out. And we were at the beach and they took their shirts off and I had little fucking man tits already and stuff. I was like, fuck. So I saw them. I was like, I don't give a damn what it costs to the little initiation fee or whatever the hell. I went to LA Fitness, got my membership. And so I started working out again. There was zero diet, none of that. But I was like, I went from this chubby to chubby buff because I didn't stop partying. But I started getting strong.
This was during college or this was after high school?
This was after high school. I didn't go to college.
Okay.
I just went straight to work.
So after high school, what was your job at the time while you were, partying and not really bodybuilding and all that?
So my first real job was a job called Cintas. It's a uniform delivery company. I had retail jobs before I landed the actual job, but that's where I consider a real job, where I was getting like a 401k and stuff. I worked in the warehouse and moved my way up. I was there for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
But that's pretty much what I did. And it was in the beginning, before I got promoted and stuff, it was a 5-day work week. Got promoted to a 4-day work week where I had freedom and delivered uniforms and stuff once I left the warehouse and all that. And so it was just really easy to bodybuild with that kind of job. But then it got difficult, which I'll get to. But so I got back into lifting. I was chubby buff, still partying. But then, so I didn't care to ever compete. I didn't care to do any of that. I just liked lifting weights. It gave me that satisfaction that I would get from football. And I just love being strong too. And I would train like 5 days a week pretty consistently. I started off with 3, 4, then 5 once I got back into the groove of things. But then when I turned 22, my dad passed away. And so those party days weren't even fun anymore. I was starting to drink for the wrong reasons. And I just started going down a really bad path. And there was one party I went to where I just drank myself to oblivion and made some really big mistakes that the next morning I was embarrassed to like be alive, kind of thing. And I looked in the mirror. I didn't even recognize who I was looking at that point. And I came to this conclusion that, like, I can keep going down this path.
How old were you when you lost your dad?
22.
Okay, that's right.
And I tell everybody these were the years where I was going to need my dad the most, where his wisdom would come in, and it was the times like, and when I was there, I didn't realize how important those years were until I needed him. Right, so 22, that happened, and I was like, if my dad was still here, he would be so disappointed that this is where I decided to take my life after he was gone. And having that victim mentality, like that's not a man mentality, like, just making excuses as to why is this happening to me, all kind of things. So I started channeling it into like a driving factor. Like, I'd want my dad to be proud of the boy that he raised and stuff like that. And so literally that day I decided to turn my life around. I stopped partying. I didn't drink for over a year because I didn't feel I was mature enough to handle it until I, faced my emotions and faced all these, I guess, for lack of better words, these demons kind of thing.
Yeah.
Getting over it and stuff. And I tell everybody that's the day I became a bodybuilder. So I'm 23 now. This happened for about a year until that event. Um, and yeah, when I was 23, I literally got in the uh, best shape of my life within 8 weeks because I was a true believer in mind, body, and soul. So, you fix your body, you're going to work on your mind and the development of that, and you're just going to cleanse your soul by working on yourself, right? So, I got in the best shape of my life in about 8 weeks. I developed my discipline back that I lost along the way by going from high school to partying and just making bad decisions and depression and stuff. And then I started taking it more serious the more I did things. And I didn't compete for a while because I always knew that your foundation is really important before you compete. So I still just wanted to develop myself. And the gym was my therapy, my escape from my old self and all the problems that I would try to run away from. I would face them, I guess you could say, when I would go to the gym. And so over the next from 23 up until 26, I was developing my body. I was completely natural 100% of the way through. My first competition was November 14th of 2020. I coached myself the whole way through until the last 3 weeks. A buddy of mine who was a pro bodybuilder already helped me peak the last 3 weeks when I gave
This
him my
picture right
diet.
here, Joe, can you see the picture I posted? That's the one on your Instagram where you're
Yes.
20 and 2020 and 2025. What were you prepping for your show in this picture?
Yes, that was me getting ready for that first show.
Okay. And how old were you there?
26.
Okay. And you were 185 and you were natural at that time, right?
Yeah, so I ended up getting as low as like 182 or 183, and then my stage weight when they weighed me in, I was 187.
Okay.
There's a video of what I looked like in my trunks and stuff somewhere on the day of the show, but they're red trunks. But yeah, that was my first show getting ready. But
So do you think it helped you? I tell people all the time, you have to build a base before you jump on gear. Everybody now, especially younger kids, they want to jump on a crazy cycle right away. Everybody wants to jump on trend and all that. Are you glad you waited that long? I think it benefited you from building a base first, and then look at the difference here. This is 5 years. That's an insane transformation.
So 100% yes. And it's not just about the physicalities of that transformation, because as you guys heard, when I got out of high school, right, it took me years to develop a mature mentality too. So I wasn't done partying back then. I wasn't done saying yes to people wanting to do things that wasn't going to benefit bodybuilding. I wasn't ready to take on what the bodybuilding life truly asked of me yet. So I didn't mature mentally enough until the time that I said that I decided to, hey, I want to start taking this more serious. And even then, until I did that first show, it was still like I would say I was 70% with 30% still trying to be sociable and not all in, I guess you could say. And yeah, so if I didn't take the time to develop that mature mindset first to take on a sport like this, I would have never been able to do what I do right now. I would have made mistakes and just gave up because I would have gotten tired of it. So I
What
wouldn't.
was
I
your first
didn't. I
cycle?
allowed myself to live life first. My very first cycle. So after that show, I did natural. I decided this is the life that I want. I love what
Mhm.
I'm doing, and I'm gonna go all in at this point. I even announced it to my family the day of the show. After I took second overall in the open class that day, and second in the novice class. Um, so I was like, you know what? I just did pretty well against these guys that are on gear, and I'm a true believer in leaving no stone unturned. And that was the only one that I didn't turn around. And I knew that going into this, but I wanted to see how I matched up just by my work ethic and some food. and training hard, So I said, I'm going to go all in. So I'm actually going to start my first cycle. I announced it to my whole family. I didn't want to hide anything, like I just wanted to do this, be fully transparent. So literally the following Tuesday after that show, I jumped on 500 milligrams test sip and 40 milligrams of D-ball. That was my first cycle. Once the D-ball got transferred out, I was put on EQ as well with the test, and that was it. That was my
How much
first
weight
cycle.
did you?
600 milligrams EQ. That wasn't. I took on a coach once I decided to start taking gear, so that's what my coach had me do.
Good.
How much weight did you gain off that first cycle?
I think Kamali's mic's down or something. I didn't hear what he said.
How much weight did you gain off the first cycle?
So my stage weight was 187 and I got to 238. So I think 50 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 50 pounds.
And then, and can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear Kamali. I don't know why.
Are you muted? Or I can hear him.
I didn't touch my phone. Well, that was weird.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? No, he can't hear me.
He can't hear you.
No.
Damn.
Yeah, I can't hear. I literally haven't touched my phone.
I don't know. I could hear you, King. I don't know.
Let me log off and log on.
Yeah, log off and log back on. See if it makes a difference. So you got a coach, Joe. You started taking, you had good genetics, to begin with. I see here you have great quads. You got a good base. What did your you say you told your family? What did your family think of you getting on steroids? Because a lot of people don't know what they are. They think that makes someone a madman, and different perceptions of what it does.
So they just said, if I feel as though this is the path I want to take for my life, then they're going to support me. That this is something I really want to do, they're going to support me. And if that's what it's going to take for me to get to the places that I want to be, then they're there for me.
That's good. King, try it.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Shit. No, he can't.
I think I need to log out because now I can't hear you.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Try it, Joe. Log out.
You want me to log out?
In. Yeah, log out.
Yeah, let me log out. Hold on.
Well, glitches. King?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he thinks it's him because he couldn't hear me again.
Okay.
So he's logging back in too.
All right.
I don't know why his phone won't turn either. What's up with that? But
Technical difficulties.
always.
Always technical.
Always. Yeah. So Beirut is any word?
Huh?
Beirut is any word?
No. It's gotten to a point where I text Milos every day, and he's like, "Please stop texting me because I'm about to." He's like, "I'm about to lose my mind," because all the other Iranians got their visas except for Beirut.
So people can hear you, King, too. So that's watching. So
I understand.
Yeah, something to do with his phone. Yeah, I mean, dude, that feeling to prep for a show and just to know, like, am I going to make it or not? That sucks. Like the time, the money, the pushing yourself, feeling like shit, and to not even know if you're even going to make the show or not.
Yeah, it's. I feel so bad for the kid, man. So bad.
Yeah.
All right, you there, Joe? Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you, Des.
All right, there we go.
I don't know what
What I
happened.
said was
it's all your fault, Joe.
Yeah, in 2022, you won the NPC California State. How'd that feel?
So that's where I was getting, right? The answer to that guy's question earlier, when did I feel that I was destined to do this? It was that moment.
Right.
So it happened again where life was starting to happen, and some major events happened in my life where I got real down again. And I had a training partner at this point. He's like the one who's with me and everything. He's a big, buff, tatted guy named Paul. He saw me like getting to my low points where I would show up and train every day, but he saw my physique deteriorating. because I was going out and drinking again and just making mistakes.
Why
And
were you so depressed? Why were you depressed during that time? Was it your dad still kind of coming?
no,
Because
no,
that never goes away when you lose a parent. I
me,
lost my
me and
mom, and so I
I
know how it
have
feels.
I was in a relationship for 12 years and engaged, and we split apart 3 weeks before the wedding.
Ooh.
And
What age did you start the relationship? Was it in junior high you started?
I was a sophomore.
Sophomore?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
high school sweetheart. Okay.
So it wasn't too long after that show. It wasn't too long after that first show I did where that happened. It was like a year later.
Yeah, that'll take a
And
lot out of you. A lot out.
yeah, I literally I remember I couldn't eat. Like I literally just could not eat, and I lost
That's what
11
happens to
pounds in a
guys.
weekend,
We can't
man.
eat.
No,
Girls eat, we can't eat.
I'm the yeah. I do not eat. I literally stepped on a scale the following weekend, and I lost 11 pounds instantly.
Yeah.
And like I said, my body started deteriorating. I always trained. I never stopped. That was always like my this is all I have kind of thought. And yeah, like my I consider him a brother, he saw me heading down a terrible path, and he saw the potential in me because I had that fire, man. Like I really wanted this life, and then that took a hit. And so he offered to he was like, Joe, I think you should do a show. He's like, you need something to work towards, and I was like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. He's like, no, you are ready. You're crazy. And he was like, what is it that's really holding you back? He's like, is it finances or whatever? And I was like, because when that all happened, my training business also took a huge hit. And so I wasn't getting clients just because of all the background stuff. It got into the gym and all this stuff. And it just painted a bad picture for me. So
What
people didn't
happened
want to
with
work with
the
me.
if you want to talk if you don't mind
I
talking
really
about
don't
what
want to talk
happened?
about that.
Okay, that's fine.
But
That's
just
fine.
know that
We all have those.
I was not put in the best light, and it affected my business.
I've
And
had that
people,
same thing happen to me.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And it took a while for me to build myself back up and paint a picture of who I truly am currently. Um, I became a person that was seen as this monster to, people make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that's who they are.
Oh yeah.
And obviously you prove that just by not making the same mistake again. So,
Mhm.
moving forward, yeah, so he told me, Joe, if it's finances like you're saying it is, what if I paid for your coaching the first couple months? And I was like, dude, if you believe in me that much and have that much faith in me that you're going to put your money towards me, I was like, yeah, I'll do a show. And we picked a show, and that was the show that we picked. And I took it very serious because he's like a brother to me, and I was like, I'm not just gonna have him throw his money away. I'm gonna give it my all. And with all that happening in my life and stuff, I was able to bring that look that I brought, and that changed my whole life. It changed my trajectory. And ever since that moment, um, I became who I am. So that was the show that defined me.
Well, that's the
And I,
Cal State. You're talking about quite a pedigree there, man. Sean
Yeah.
Ray, Chris Cormier, Flex Wheeler, Zucalato, Dennis Newman, Aaron Baker. I mean, these are all Cal State winners. And back in, the old school days when California was the Mecca, that's it. You had to win the Cal State. And then from Cal State, you went to the USAs. So that's,
yeah, it was one of those things that when I had that fire, right before all that crap happened, and you know what, I'm just gonna speak on it because I want to be transparent for those that may actually go through it and make mistakes. But I obviously cheated on my fiance, and it was found out, and I did it multiple times. It wasn't just one time, and it was one of those things that she was my best friend for years, and she didn't want to leave me, but I saw the pain that I caused her, and I knew I wasn't the man for her because I wasn't ready to take on what I was going to with the mistakes that I was making. And so I actually decided to call off the wedding.
Wow.
And I said, you're my best friend. I don't want to continue to hurt you anymore. I don't want you to look at me and have to relive what you felt. And I was like, you know what? As hard as it is, I'm gonna have to call this off. And it was very hard. It was the things that I did was selfish, but I tried to do one selfless thing for her because I knew she'd be happier if I took that pain away from her. It was gonna hurt because it hurt me, but it was worth it. In the grand scheme of things, we moved on with our lives and stuff. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and say that because it's
Yeah.
one of those things like if someone's going through that, I wish I would have heard someone else, like say someone looks up to me and knows that it'll be okay. You just got to keep going and just not make the same mistakes, and you'll be a better man for it. And you'll be able to teach
Well,
somebody else one day.
I mean,
Right.
you were
So
you guys were together since a sophomore, man. Like when you're with, I mean, as men, that's tough, especially when you're young, just to be with one. I mean, I don't mind. I could never do it. It took a long time for me to mature enough to understand, like, hey, I'm hurting people when I do that. Like, if I cheat on a
yes,
girl, that hurts the person, and I've had it done
yes,
to me, and it hurts. So you get to a certain point where, like, hey, this I need to grow up, and if I want to find someone eventually that I can settle down with, like that you can't live that way.
Well, the
So
most important question to ask is, did you finally find peace?
yeah.
yes. It actually took me years to find that peace because it was one of those things that people forgive you, but you got to forgive yourself.
Correct.
And so that took me a long time to do. And it's actually with my current wife that I found peace. And it was like, I found somebody that had me like forced me to face certain things to continue to grow as a person. And she could tell that there was things that I haven't let go of. And she, helped me get through those things. And it's a crazy feeling of like weight off your shoulders when you actually have forgiven yourself. You can't lie to yourself. So when you truly do forgive yourself and you can move past those things, it's amazing how good that feels on your chest. So
Good for
Well,
you, man.
yes,
Good for you.
yeah, I mean, at the time, when things like that happen at the time, you don't understand, like, why is this happening? Why did I do this? But then in the long run now, like, you met who you were supposed to be with. If you kept that on, that probably would have ended up, probably toxic. You know how a lot of women do, like, you cheat on them, even though you say you're sorry, I forgive you, that they never forgive you,
yeah, yeah.
or
I've
vice
seen it.
versa.
I've seen it happen
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
friends.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you
That-
battled
Yeah,
you battled some demons. You came out. Now we got the USA's 2023. Talk about the
yeah.
USA's.
The USA is one of the best moments of my life. I sacrificed so much. I walked away from a job. So, talking about the job. So I worked at Cintas for 8 years, and after the California, I was still working there. So I left my training business because it was failing, and I went back to work at Cintas. So I left Cintas for like a little less than a year, and then went right back because of the training business thing taking a hit. And I didn't want Paul to pay for everything. So I was like, I need to make money if I'm going to finish this shit. So I went back to work, and it was the hardest prep I've ever done in my life. Nothing has been close to that because it was the first time I ever got that shredded. It was the first time I was ever on gear for a show. Um, like taking on the supplements that I did and dealing with people and customer service and the stresses with it. So, but anyways, I came out on top there, and I saw myself blow up after the rebound portion of that. That was the first time I got to rebound with the guidance that I had and all that stuff. And I was like, damn, like the the weight and trying to do that laborious job and trying to walk and all that and eat all that food and make up because the bigger you get, the harder or the more calories you burn moving. So just the amounts of food I had to eat, and I was like, dude, like,
It doesn't go hand in
I,
hand. Working
yeah,
on like
and
the
people
labor job.
and people in the workforce, they see a buff guy like, oh, he can take on more because he's so strong.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not the case, man. It's harder, and it's like, fuck, man. So I
you
had to
get injured
decide.
easier having all that
Yes.
muscle.
I used to have shoulder pain, elbow pain. I developed tendonitis in my elbow at one point, the distal bicep tendon.
Mhm.
And I was like, I have to make a choice here. Do I pursue what I know is my dream at this point in my life? Or do I choose the comfortable life and, just get a paycheck and, okay, well, I'm making money. So I thought about my dad and how I used to see my dad, like my dad looked miserable, from when I was a kid till I became an adult and what I saw. And I'm like, I'm pretty much, if I continue this path and I walk away from my dream, I'm going to end up in the same position as him. I always promised myself I wouldn't be him. And I saw myself becoming him over time. And I was like, you know what? I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I have no one to provide for but myself. I'm just going to follow it because if I don't, I'm going to hate myself one day because I will live in regret the rest of my life if I didn't at least try. So I walked away from the job and I found ways to make it happen and I became a Mr. USA.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's funny. It's funny because I was this Justin Compton and my friend Paul, when I won the Cal amateur show, they both said that I should do USAs, which was 9 weeks later. And Justin told me that he's like, Joe, you have a very high chance of getting your pro card your first time at USAs. And I said, well, do you think I can win USAs? And he said, honestly, like at your size, I don't know about that because there could be a super heavy that comes in and, like just out muscles you. And I was like, look, man, I know myself. And what I brought to the Cal was I guess you could say, half-assed version of what I know I'm capable of. Because a lot of that time I wasted dealing with my life and stuff. I said, if you give me another year, I know I can win the USAs. I truly believe in my heart I can win. And I have a blueprint in my mind as to how I'm going to make it happen. So if you're okay with that, he's like, look, man, I totally get it. If that's what you want to do, I'm here to coach you. Like I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if that's how you want to do it, then let's do it. And then 14 months later, I became Miss USA.
Nice.
So you were with Justin. That was Justin your first coach?
No, well, so my friend, the one that I said was a pro bodybuilder that helped me
Yeah.
the last 3 weeks, he was my first coach after that. And then so my friend is a good friend. He told me, he's like, he saw my growth and my potential. He said, hey, Joe, um, as your friend, I don't want to hold you back from what you're capable of. So I think you need to go with somebody that knows more than me, that can get you to where you want to be quicker than I know I can, because I only know so much and I only have so much experience myself. And then that's when my best friend Paul put me with his coach, which was Justin Compton.
That's a true friend. Yeah, that is a true friend because so many people now will just, hey, this guy has crazy genetics. I want to take him on. And even though they know they can't, there's many people now, coaches that have no clue what they're doing. They just wing it and they'll take on the genetic elite and then just roll with it. So that is a good friend to hook you up with Justin. I know Justin well. He's a good guy and coach too. So
Yeah. And I
this
trust
guy,
Justin's became a great friend. It's
yeah,
been 4
this
We
guy
years.
had
asked,
Justin on the show. He's a good guy.
yeah,
He admitted that he has a temper, but he's a good guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, this guy asked, what sacrifices do people not see that you have had to make to pursue this life?
He just
Well, I
said
mean,
all that stuff.
yeah,
He just went
I
through the whole
did.
list.
Yeah, I know.
Joe went through hell and back, man, which made him a stronger man. And then in the end, what happens is he found this peace, he got the demons out, and now he's got a partner in life. And you're a father now too, right?
Yes, and by the glory of God, it's one of those things that when I got into this bodybuilding thing, when I actually asked Justin in the very beginning, like, is any of this going to hinder my ability to become a father? Because that's something I want to do one day. And he was like, yeah, there's protocols that we can definitely make it happen and stuff. And I'm going to let you know right now, I didn't need one of those protocols because
Yeah.
I just had the ability to become a dad right off the bat.
Yeah, you
You
and
know,
me both. Is it a son or a daughter?
That's my son, Jax.
Son. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I put
Wait till
the
you have a
picture right
daughter.
here,
She's
man.
gonna smack you around for the rest of your life. Just wait.
You know,
Yeah,
Joe, King and I talk about it all the time, how, bodybuilders are so selfish, they don't have kids. Most top bodybuilders now don't have kids yet. And there's a lot of great bodybuilders that never had kids. And King and I always talk about like how, it's not for everyone being a father and raising kids, but how like our kids have changed our life, and it completely changed my life and King's life. Also, we talk about it all the time, and it's rare for someone you just getting started and to have a child in bodybuilding.
I guess some people, this is something I learned through going through all those things I went through. You can look at it as adversity as a negative thing, or you can allow it to just make you a better man. And I knew taking on a kid was going to be difficult, but I knew also it was going to skyrocket me into another level. And when we talk about drive, the moment I found out I was going to have a son or just a child in general, there is no stopping a man that it needs to provide for his family. It's just a different level of mentality and thinking, and there is no failure will never be an option, and you will always find a way. The way your mind just works is survival mode 24/7. Like, how can I make sure he's always taken care of? How can I make sure my wife's good? Like, there's uh, there's nothing I can't do in my head right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got a family, to provide for now. You got a little one that depends on you. So this you probably just answered this question now, but what's your proudest moment outside of bodybuilding as a man, not just an athlete? Probably your son. Right?
Yeah, having my son. That moment in that picture right there, when I posted that picture and I was typing the words underneath it, I was literally tearing up on the treadmill, and just I couldn't believe how blessed I was. Going through the things I went through, and we all have our own little battles, internal battles especially, but this is what I've been given by just keep going. Like, it's a different feeling of just happiness. Like, that picture is genuine happiness. I just couldn't believe it was real. Like, you have a vision for your life, and to watch it play in front of you like a movie, it's fucking wild.
Absolutely, man.
And how old is your boy? You just had him not too long ago, right?
Yeah, so he will be 5 months October 7th. He was born May 7th.
Yeah. He's still brand new.
Yes.
Gets fun.
But it's crazy, man. Like, I was literally having the conversation today. Somebody asked me about him, and I said, I've never paid so close of attention to a baby before, but it's so entertaining watching how day to day they do something new. Like, it may not be a new thing to the world, but it's new to him, and it's like still like exciting for you. Oh shit, he's looking at his hand now. Like, it's just like, what the hell? He picked something up for the first time. Like, damn.
And it gets so much better too once they stop eating and shitting all day, and you're able. My son's King's kid's older than mine, but my daughter, she's 10, my son's 6. Once you're able to start actually doing stuff with your son, like I like soccer, so we kick soccer ball and all that. It's awesome.
I'm to the point right now, brother, where my son texts me or calls me and goes, "How much did you deadlift when you were 14?" I'm like, "Good Lord, we're deadlifts now." I'm like, "Yeah, how much you doing?" And he sends me a video of him deadlifting 315 and 4. I'm like, "Yeah, you're stronger than me." He goes, "Yeah, that's what I thought." And he walks away. I'm like, "What?" Talk to you, Dad. I'm a pro bodybuilder. Get out of here. Don't talk to me like that.
Yeah, I was telling my wife yesterday. We were talking about, years in the future when Jax goes to school. Like, it's gonna be dope when Jax tells her like, "Hey, can Dad pick me up today?" Because he wants all his friends to see this buff ass dude come pick him up.
That's
exciting.
I'm sure awesome. Your kids love that too. Like whenever my son and tells all. I'm retired, but I'm still a good size, and tells all his friends, "Yeah, my dad has all these muscles, and your dad doesn't." And stuff like that.
He loves it. He calls me the Hawk from the beginning. He's always called me the Hawk, and he went to football camp this summer at the BC football camp, and I just remember all the coaches. They huddled up around him for a few minutes and they walked away. And at the end, I said, "Johnny, what'd they say to you?" He goes, "Is that Jack guy up there your dad?" And he goes,
"That's my dad." Yeah, that's cool, man.
Joe, so let's move on. So USA's, I saw the pictures. You look fantastic, all that stuff. Now you're an IFBB professional bodybuilder. And what changed in your head? Who do you work for? Is there sponsors? Tell me about the IFBB life right now.
So I actually didn't get any sponsors up until recently. So it's been very I've had to be very patient and just keep going. Like I said, just learn to keep going, and eventually things will fall into place for you. You just got to stay true to you and true to your path and just believe in it, right? So I became a pro my business got better. Everything started rebuilding itself. It just took time. And again, the way I've carried myself after everything went down and stuff, I become, to the eyes of other people, very respectable and all this stuff. And everyone just likes to be around me, wants to work with me, like excited to work with me, kind of thing. So I just rebuilt myself. Um, so my business started doing really well, and then so I hadn't had to leave
Let me,
training
I don't mean
anymore.
to cut you off, but let me say something to the kids right now. Because you're a real IFBB pro, you're the overall USA champion. The reason why I say that is because when you go to these national qualifiers, they hand out 300 pro cards. So when
Yeah.
somebody says I'm an IFBB pro now, you gotta take a step back and say, okay, really? Because people who OGs who understand, and that's why I'm giving you the respect right now. Back just a couple years ago, you had the overall USA, overall North American, and class winners at the nationals. That's it. You had just 5 or 6 guys turning pro a year, which was incredibly hard. So winning the overall at the USA's means that you have accomplished something that's legit. So go ahead, continue.
No, I really appreciate you saying that, because like, whatever, if people want to call it ego or whatnot, that was my belief. And I never, becoming a pro is hard, and but I never wanted to feel like something was given easier than it should be. And not to take away from anybody, I mean this respectfully, but when it came to myself, I hold myself to a certain standard. And so knowing that that's what it took back then, and that they've watered it down to what it is now, that is the reason I told Justin I want to wait another year, because I
Good.
didn't just want to become a pro because I was good enough to win a weight class. I wanted to be so good that I was the guy that beat everyone, and I
Correct.
was ready to be a pro. Not, well, he won in a weight class, but he still has to put on a few pounds to be a good open pro. So he's kind of ready, but not really. So that was my biggest driving factor, and why I told Justin no. I was like, I want to win it the way it's meant to be won. And here we are. But thank you. I do appreciate
Yeah,
that.
of course. Get respect where respect is due, man.
Mhm.
So
And
Joe, you're in your off season right now.
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
well, so I guess you can call it the off season. Every show that I've done a rebound portion where the compounds are out, the test is still higher, and I'm slowly reverse dieting into a good off season start. But how I've always believed that you can put on a crazy amount of muscle in this short period of time, as long as you
Absolutely.
you keep things tight. And I've said to everyone that's asked me about my growth, like, um, I took the rebound portion as serious as the prep. I just did it reversed, where I'm slow. I'm still hungry right now. And there's a reason for that. And so if you stay disciplined and treat it just like prep, then you're going to get the most out of it. You're going to be able to push the rebound a little longer. And then once you start to get the body fat right where it's like real healthy, and where everything's stabilized, you put on a bunch of muscle within that time frame too. And then the rest of the off season is not just maturing that muscle you just put on, allowing it to stick. And when you're ready to diet again, like, you're gonna keep all of it and just be better looking at the end of it. So I've always taken it very serious. But yes, we're gonna get ready for the off seasons in like three
How
months
long?
from now.
How long ago was your last? What was your last show? I'm sorry. What was your last show, and what would you place at it?
Texas Pro, I took second.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I was supposed to be at that show, but I had to go out of town or do something.
What did you think about your second placing? Do you think that was the right decision, or should you have won the show?
And okay, so I'm gonna say this as respectable as possible.
Go ahead.
I
Just
think
say it.
Jordan deserved to win. I think I could have won arguably.
Mhm.
Meaning, that day when I was standing, I was waiting to hear my name because I thought I won. I truly
Why do you
believe I won.
feel Why do you feel the judges gave it to him over you?
I think the judging that day really liked his shape compared to mine. I think that Jordan looks really pretty from the front. And but as far as the shots, again, I can see how they can still choose him on certain shots, but I still feel as though I'm dominant from the side and the back. Um, and there's 3 shots that I feel like he can beat me because of my little bit of a wider set waist. But that means I won 5 of 8 in my head. So again, depending on what they want from those shots, I guess. That's why they gave it to him. But I still feel as though I won more shots.
Can I give
I
you
think
my
he won
honest
the
opinion
front
from what
double.
I saw?
Yes.
Okay. I think that your conditioning if your conditioning was, let's say, 3% sharper, you would have won.
Okay.
That's how I see it. Because it's not a muscle thing. You got more muscle than him, obviously.
Yeah.
I agree with the shots that you just threw from the side and from the back. I just think that he was just that tad bit tighter, which brought his symmetry down just a little bit more. You just made a good point. If your waist just comes down slightly, it's going to make all the difference in the world.
Mhm.
And how do you do that? Conditioning.
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah.
still do you still deadlift from the ground?
No, I stopped that a while back
Okay.
because after I did USA's, from the Cal to USA's, that's where my waist started to grow. I mean, it's not terrible, but my obliques did widen out a
I
little
mean, when
bit.
you get bigger, it's going to grow a little bit. I mean, your
Yeah.
waist grows when
Well, I
you
also
get
saw in a
massive.
podcast where he said that the squats
That too.
are yeah, and I am right there with you, man. It's
Yeah.
a double-edged sword. You have to squat because you're gonna get big legs when you squat. I'm a firm believer in that, but it messes with your waist. So I saw in the Dennis podcast that you switched to Smith machine. Now, how did that work for you?
So Smith machine, it worked wonders, but it still put that heavy pressure on my core. So the hack squat was a huge difference maker from the Cal Pro to when you guys saw me on the Tampa and Texas stages, because I just hack squatted the whole way through. I didn't go into the Smith anymore, and so I stopped doing the Smith, and I started, and then for back and stuff, I did nothing but like seated or chest supported back movements, which I didn't have to engage my core at all.
So,
And
Joe,
there's
on
so
the
much.
hack squats, let's because we're trying to teach the kids too. On those hack squats, are you doing those hack squats the Tom Platz way, feet very, very low on the platform? It's lighten the weights up and then throw your knees forward, or are you going balls to the wall, 9 plates on each side, killing it?
So for the Cal Pro, I was going balls to the wall, killing it as much weight as possible. For these shows, I didn't go super low or do any like Tom Platz style, but I did more controlled.
Right.
But even that, I refined towards the end of prep, where I found that I guess you could say Milo style, where you keep the tension at a certain point, even lift the heel a bit at the bottom, press through the sweep of the quad, keeping the tension there, like lightening the weight and just complete control, I guess. So that's how I'm training them now, and I'm watching my sweeps get real big all the way through my hip.
The reason why I bring that up, the reason why I say that is because now the kids are all looking at Nick Walker. Nick. So when they see Nick's videos, he's going super, super slow on those negatives. And the weight that he's using is half of what he can do. So that is why I'm asking you, is that what you're doing? Are you doing that, as Milos would say, search for the pain reps?
Okay, so I want to say this before I answer this question. I still believe that you need to lift the heavy shit in the beginning. I don't think anybody should train like myself right now or Nick when you're trying to build your base and foundation. I think you're wasting a ton of time and you will get nowhere with it.
Right.
And I think maybe your muscles will feel hard, but they won't grow big. And I promise you that. The way Nick and me are training, yeah, you're going to put on a lot of, you're going to put size on in specific places. Nick is training for specificity, meaning like he's trying to grow his sweeps. So he's keeping tension on one part of the muscle, meaning that load that he's moving is heavy for that specific part of his leg. And that's why he's doing it under so much control. Now, somebody that's building their leg as a whole, we just talked about the squats. That is building the whole leg and in the way that it's going to sit on your body genetically, right? So some people may get a little bit more sweep or teardrop or whatever, hip flexor, but at the end of the day, everything's still going to grow. And you need to have a respectable amount of load as your foundation so that you can control certain loads with volume and time under tension. But until you develop all that, training like Nick or myself currently, it's useless. And I think people are quick to want to do, because it's not easy what Nick's doing. It's not. But if you try to do what Nick's doing, not knowing what he's actually doing,
Right.
it's going to come off as easier. And that's not the case. It hurts, it's hard, but it's earned over time. You
Correct.
can't train like that in the beginning. But yes, I think what Nick does is extremely smart and is perfect for the level that he's at. I don't train as slow as Nick, but I find the tension point and that pain point, like Milo says, and I'll do it within my own time under tension. And I like to train in the 15 to 20 rep ranges. Sometimes I'll still go as low as 10, but usually never lower than 10. But that set is still going to take a minimum of 30, 35 seconds. So,
See, if you go back to the 1990s, you see Kevin Levrone, you see Ronnie, you see all these. They never trained like it was always. I'm the same way. You come down, you pound it up. You come down, you take a minute rest, get right back in there. Now it's all those slow and all those things. That's why it gets a little confusing. Now, when you go back to Ronnie, I've always said it. I said it a million times. I believe if Ronnie would have just relaxed a little bit, stopped front squatting 700 pounds, he could have won 15 Mr. Olympias and kept going. But it's that heavy. But I 100% agree with you. At the beginning, building the foundation, you have to train heavy.
And we see so many kids now.
Obviously, I'm trying to be one of the best in the world. And so I'm going to do whatever I got to do and train however I got to train to make it happen. The only thing is, like, if I'm doing the same shit and getting the same result and not improving what I'm trying to improve, I have to find another fucking way. So the way I'm squatting and stuff, like the way I love to train, the heavy, the hard stuff, I'm growing in the places that I don't necessarily need to grow right now. I need certain places to grow, which is why I started training the way I'm training. Because it's fine-tuned training now. It's not always about just getting as big as possible now. So again, there's levels to this and where you're at in your career and what you're trying to do. And but I'd be lying to you if like there's days where I'm just like, fuck man, I just want to get under a heavy ass squat, just move that shit. Because that's what built me. That's what I know. That's why I love training. Like those butterflies you get before a heavy ass set. Like, fuck man, I know I can lift this. I don't know how many for, but I really do hope I'm going to come out of it all right.
Well, you know, Joe, you've had shoulder surgery.
Just training with purpose. I don't just want to move things for the sake of moving them. I want to get better. I want to again be one of the best in the world, and so I'm going to do what I got to do to make that happen, and that's training like a professional. What I need to do.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, Joe can't hear me.
I can't hear Armon.
Yeah, you can't hear me.
Yeah, just log off and log back on, man.
Me, right?
No, not you. Armon.
Oh. Yeah, last time I had to log off.
Yeah. That's good, man. I mean, like we're trying to educate the kids too, and it seems like at 31, because you're 31 years old, correct?
Yes.
At 31, you've built that maturity not only in your muscle but in your head too, which is an excellent thing to be. Because I know a lot of 31-year-olds who still don't know what the fuck they're doing and doing things wrong. All right, so now here's the quick question that I personally like to ask: what do you think about the comparisons between you and Nick Walker? Because they've already started, my friend. You know that. How do you feel about those comparisons, and where do you see yourself in like 2-3 years standing next to a Nick Walker?
So if you were to put me next to Nick right now, he would kill me still. Nick has a certain level of muscularity and detail that I haven't developed yet. Like I tell people, because they have asked me in person, hey, are you bigger than Nick Walker? I was like, Nick Walker is about, I think, like an inch shorter than me or the same height. And right now, he's damn near stage ready peeled. I weigh 281 right now, and I'm no longer stage ready and peeled. I was 247 in Texas. He's going to be potentially 270 pounds on stage. I'm like, that should tell you everything. Nick is a bigger man.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. Structurally, I have the potential to be bigger than Nick because my structure will allow me to carry more muscle than I think Nick's can. So the next 2-3 years, would I be able to beat Nick? I do believe I can. It's just going to take me some time to catch up. So
well, you're taller and your shoulder width is insane. I mean,
yeah. So that's why I think I could beat someone like Nick in the next few years. But it's going to take time and maturity to set in, and then just filling out some of my frame a little bit more and my legs and stuff to really stand out next to him. But I
Good
do
answer.
think it's going to look cool because I, as big as muscular Nick is, because of my structure, I think I can hold my own size wise standing next to him. I do think that's pretty. But do I see myself beating him right now? No.
Joe, when was your shoulder surgeries? Were you competing already?
No, my shoulder surgeries were in, I want to say it was 2018. It was
Okay.
2017 or 2018. I don't remember.
So you know the recovery sucks and all that. So when you were talking about training earlier, like those times you just want to go there and tear it up and push it. You can remember like, man, I remember when I injured myself and I was out 4 months, 5 months, 6 months where I couldn't do anything at all. So that's what a
That
lot of
was that
people.
that was a huge growing point for me too, because I remember trying to get through that.
Yeah.
And at one point, because you don't, I mean, I was ignorant to how long these things took. And at one point, I didn't even like it hurt to train, even after the surgeries,
Oh
for
yeah,
like getting range of motion, scar tissue. The doctor told me I was good to go back. And then I was like, dude, I'm in a lot of pain. This is that. He's like, well, just don't train. And I was like, how you gonna tell me not to fucking train? I was like, what the hell? Like this is my life. This is what I live for. Like, I can't not. And then he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, so I left that doctor's office pissed. Never went back. Never once went back. I remember pulling over to a gas station, sitting in my car, and I was on the phone with my ex at the time. And I started bawling my eyes out because I finally found something, that brought me like happiness and stuff. I already lost my dad and all that stuff. And I was like, this man's telling me just to not do something, that I can't do something, just wait, or you may not, or whatever. And I said, I will never allow somebody to tell me that I can't do something or I shouldn't do something or like that, just not to do it. And I said, I'm going to stop thinking about what I can do and start working towards what I can do. So while I allowed my body to heal, I literally did Stairmaster in calves and legs as much as I fucking could, as much like whatever kept me in the gym for an hour, hour and a half every single day. And over time, I eventually was able to do more and more. And I learned that, um, say I was limited to one movement for chest, I was able to actually do flies. And I was like, okay, well, I can do volume through other movements. So I'm going to do frequency. So I trained full body 3 times a week with the single movements I could do. And I was like, I'll get volume through the frequency. And then over time, I was able to do more. And I turned that into body part splits, like push pull legs. And then I eventually went back to once my body started allowing me to do more. So instead of giving up on it, being told I just not to do something or you can't do this, I decided, no, I'm going to find every way that I can do something because I don't just have to sit here and do nothing
Yeah.
about it. So that was
It's
huge for me.
frustrating, Joe. I had shoulder surgery on my left one. I went to the best surgeon I could find, the Rangers, Texas Rangers surgeon. He fixed what he saw on my MRI, and when he was in there, my labrum was torn too. He didn't
Mine
fix
was torn
that.
too.
So we had after surgery, I wasn't getting better. Wasn't getting better. We had to go back in again, and I was out of upper body training for 2 years. That's what ended my bodybuilding career, and that was the time I was about to get my pro card and all that. And that was. I look back and it was a blessing in disguise now because I think that was a good time for me to exit, even though I never made it where I could have made it. But yeah, those shoulder surgeries, people don't understand. It takes a long time to recover from that. And just for the pain to go away, it took you at least
Yeah,
probably
that
6 months,
for the pain to completely go away, it took 2 years.
year. Yeah.
2 years. And I say that because I slowly started introducing certain lifts. So I would kind of test the waters and see what can I do now? What can I do now? And about after 2 years, I was finally able. So I never do any. If people pay attention, I never do like free bar or anything. I always do machine stuff. There's a reason for that. So not only do I get better muscle engagement, but I don't feel any pain in my shoulders. And then like Smith machine, I just have to unrack it. I don't have to try to stabilize. So I don't ever have to worry about any of that pain. Um, and I'm very tight, locked in, secure. So I learned that you don't have to marry any exercises. You do things that don't hurt you and you're gonna benefit. So it's
Yeah.
like if you can be open-minded about certain movements and training styles and this and that, like you can definitely build a world class physique. I mean, shit. Like with my shoulder surgeries last year, was it last year when I did the Cal Pro that off season going into the Cal Pro, I incline pressed 5 plates on the Smith. I mean, years ago,
Yeah.
if you told me I was going to be able to do that, I would have laughed and thought you were
Yeah.
bullshitting me with the shoulder pain that I had. So, I mean, that should tell you that,
Can't even do 1 plate with that certain shoulder pain at first. It's frustrating.
yeah,
Let's
man.
answer a couple of these questions. If we fast forward 3 to 5 years, who do you see yourself standing toe to toe with on that Olympia stage and actually pushing into war for that title?
3 to 5 years. Nick, Nick and Keon.
Yeah,
Nick, Keon, and Derek. Derek will still be around.
yeah. I definitely see you going in that direction.
Thank you, man. That means a lot.
Do you have a mentor in bodybuilding other than your coach, Justin?
Mentor.
Someone
You
else?
know what? Not like directly, I guess, but I listen to a lot of podcasts like you guys do. Um, I do respect Milos a lot. I really do like Chris Tuttle. I used to really like Mountain Dog. Obviously, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
Yeah. Who else off the top of my head? Those guys come to mind first and foremost. Um, God, yeah, that's all I can say. If I think about anybody else, I'll tell you. But the first guys
Do you
come to my
feel
mind.
do you feel like bodybuilders today rely on more pharmacy and SEOs, fillers, than on investing into learning and mastering pure training, posing, nutrition philosophies?
Yes, and I think that I've talked about this before. People try to find the quickest way to look the part. They don't understand how important it is to fall in love with the process of looking the part. So when you develop the passion for what this is, it doesn't really matter the drug part. It's just like, oh, this is going to help me get better. But you fell in love with the lifestyle of it, the hard training. Like, so that's just, this is going to help me recover or get a little stronger so I can push myself farther. Sweet. Like, you almost focus less on that and more on like the excitement of just being able to go in and do the damn thing. Like, I don't. It's cool to see that I've done what I've done in 5 years from the natty version of me to what I. But the reason it's happened is because I mean I was natural for 12 years. All I cared about was training and being able to eat a lot of food. Like I love that part. I literally love it. Um, Obviously, the you talked about me being 31 and the training knowledge that I have. That's because all I cared about was training. Like I loved training. I loved figuring out different ways to push myself, even to test my natural limit. Can I recover from this kind of thing? Like without using the gear and all that stuff. Like what was I capable of? And so I studied training for years, nutrition. Like if my coach gives me a plan, I'm a coach myself. Like I know that if I want to switch out cream of rice and protein powder with chicken and rice or like some of my ounces of ground beef with whole eggs or something, I know I can do that. I know the nutritional side of how things work and stuff too. So it's like, you develop a passion for learning more about the shit that really matters, not just the drugs. The drugs are another side of it, and that's cool to learn too. But
Of course.
I mean, I don't want to rely on that more than anything. And I was actually just talking to my camera guy. We filmed something today, and he asked me about dosages, right? And I said, you know, in the beginning, you start off here, and over time, you slowly increment yourself up. And I said, but there's actually a certain point when you get to a certain size where if you do this right, you can actually take less and just focus on refining your physique. You don't have to put on crazy amounts of muscle and just putting a bunch of toxins in your body. You can do less and even look better and feel better. So the goal isn't, hey, how can we take more? It's how do I take enough to that one point? Now I don't even have to take that much. And I just keep living the lifestyle that I actually care more than about the drugs.
Yeah. And with the health aspect, I mean, 20 is different from 30, 30 is different from 40. I mean, when you start getting a little older, blood pressure is much more factor to, keep under control than when so, you got to take all those things into factor. Should the Olympia be limited to the top 10 in the world only?
No, I like how they have it set up.
Yeah,
To be honest,
If you qualify, you win a pro show, you should be qualified. That's it.
But I'm talking about
Yeah.
like let's say the classic physique when you got 60 guys in a class at the Olympia.
Well, I think every division should be limited to 25 myself. I mean, it's just one of those things like I feel like they should have like before the Olympia or something like competition where they weed out those guys and just bring in the
Like
top
back in the day,
whatever.
they would just cut backstage after prejudging. There's 40 competitors, 20 don't come back at night. That's what they used to do back in nationals back in the day. So I don't know if this guy says, follows up with the bro chat was discussing limiting the Mr. Olympia classes to 15, 20 people for all classes. What do you think? Also increasing the money for the top 10. I like a 15 to 20 or 25. I like that range better. 60 people coming over per class. That's just too many to me, in my opinion. King, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you don't want too many people up there, obviously, and it is the Olympia. And I think Arnold's the best. The invite, that's it. It's who Arnold wants. It's who gets invited. But for the Olympia, yeah, I mean, listen, if you win a pro show, you should be qualified. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Do you think they should just say they have that? You know how they do like where they determine the call outs? Do you think they should do that initial like line up everybody, and if they take the best like whatever like 3 to 4 out of, say it's a 60 let's not say that high, let's just say 40, and they line them up, they bring out 8 at a time, they pick the best whatever number from there, and then they don't even bring the rest out anymore. They just stay with those ones that they pick to put them in the top or the 4 call outs, and then that's it. So they still have everybody come that earned it, but then they knock them out right away from that initial
no problem with that. I have no problem with that.
I mean, as
I
a
think
judge,
that gives everybody a shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like what Armon just said. When I did the nationals, you walked off the stage, the expediter was there saying either you go this way, you go that way.
Yeah.
If you were to the right, see ya. Go eat your pizza because we're done with you.
Yeah. The first year I did junior nationals, they did that. We had the light heavy class. We had like 46 or so, and after prejudging, they're telling half the people, hey, don't come back. And I think
15,
only like 15. Yeah. Yo, King, I have a Polaroid of you hitting a front double by in front of the NOC 2004.
Good for you. Listen, Joe, I got a question for you. How does it feel right now being in the mid 280? Because you're breathing right now, and I know exactly how you feel because I remember when Chad told me when I went up to him and I said, "Hey, Mr. Nichols, I would love to work with you." Blah blah blah. He goes, "Well," he looked at me. He goes, "You show up at the Arnold Classic this year at 300 pounds, and we'll talk." I showed up at 308, but I could not breathe. I mean, literally taking a shower for me was like, "Oh my God!" How do you
wear
feel?
CPAP? Do you wear CPAP already?
Yeah.
Probably.
No, I didn't put that, but it was hard.
It's funny.
308 was hard. How do you feel right now?
Well, so the CPAP question, no, but I'm actually trying to get one like in the next 2 weeks. And it's just at the point where like I just don't sleep good. Like I wake up still tired and shit. I never gasp for air. Like I've never woken up like kind of thing. I've never done that. I just snore crazy loud apparently. And
that messes with your sleep, and you're not getting as good quality sleep, and it does make you. I mean, I deal with it too still. Like I couldn't do the CPAP. I kept getting sick because I wouldn't have the cleaner. I would do everything I'm super sterile, but I kept getting respiratory infections. So I'm going to have to do the mouth guard or eventually where it sets in there and like pushes your jaw forward after I have to get some dental stuff done. But that CPAP's hard to do, man. It's have you tried it out? You haven't even done the sleep study.
No, but no. So that's what we're trying to set up. And Keon gave me some advice on which one to use. There's one that he said it's perfect because he had a hard time like adjusting to it. But the one that he has, he's getting ready for the Olympia right now. So he told me he'd send me it though, the link to it. So I'll see which one he's been using. But as far as being where I'm at right now, yeah, I was 281 this morning. And to be honest, like it's not as bad as it has been in the past. Like I actually feel pretty normal walking around and stuff. The only time I actually feel my weight is when I'm in bed and I have to get up. Like it's hard to like get myself up. And but walking
Swing
around, I
up,
don't feel
swing
heavy.
up and turn
Yeah, the
over.
swing. And then say I'm trying to like sleep right or move positions in the bed to actually press myself to turn. I'm like, damn, I'm pretty heavy. Like, what the hell?
I'm gonna tear my
But
shoulder again just getting out of bed.
yeah, man. So and it's like that. So it's that's the only time I really feel my weight. As far as like my breathing, I breathe pretty damn loud, but I don't feel out of breath. Like I've been doing cardio 7 days a week. I've never done that in my life, but I want to make sure I stay healthy for my son. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
over here. And it's gonna do better for my look in general. But yeah, like this is the best I've ever felt at this weight. I've never I'm tired a lot because of the sleep thing. You know, I don't sleep the best. Like I'll get
And plus,
6 hours.
You're 280 too. I mean,
Yeah.
from 180 to 280, you're going to be a little more tired too, carrying
Yeah,
all that
man.
weight.
So I definitely need to nap, you know. So, but yeah, this is actually the best I've ever felt at 280. And I mean, what the actual goal this year too? Because I've been the heaviest I've ever seen on a scale was at the gym. It was after USA's when I was pushing to get to like respectable pro level size. The number on the scale was like 309.7 with my clothes on and some food in me before I trained. The heaviest weight I saw first thing in the morning was like 302 point something. Um, but I haven't seen those numbers in like 2 years now. Yes, last year I got to 297 first thing in the morning. And then this year Justin doesn't want me going over 290. So I'm almost at my peak weight
Yeah, you're
already.
big. You're big enough. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
your size is you're good.
So the goal is to again, you know, compare me to Nick Walker. Like Nick Walker doesn't need to get any heavier, but you still get bigger within growing within the same weight that you've been. So like, yeah, I don't need to push past 290 anymore. I
The
just
body
every
parts just
time,
look a little different. Look, you know, you can
yeah,
weigh the same. The body parts get a little more advanced. Built work those body parts.
yes.
King, you want to do the speed round?
After he answers one last question, so what's next? Just tell us what's next, and we do the speed
Yeah.
round.
What's your next show?
So to be honest, the my plan was to just repeat Tampa and Texas, but
Uh-huh.
the way things are looking, Justin was telling me that he thinks we should reevaluate it come January, seeing what I look like in January and maybe doing an earlier show, something like a New York Pro,
I tell you
maybe.
right now, the New York
Yeah.
Pro, the New York crowd will love you.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. They like the big boys, you
They
know.
like mass, man, and they get
Yeah,
rowdy. When you're
and
in New York, they get rowdy, man. It's a good crowd.
I mean, this is kind of like veering off, but I think Nick Walker will win the Olympia this year. But I
You
think it would
do?
be
Okay.
really cool. Yeah, I do. I do think it'd be really cool because Nick's like known to do the New York now at this point. So if that's an opportunity for me to stand next to Nick sooner than later, that'd be pretty cool to do.
Awesome. All right, lightning round. This is the best part. We love doing this. I'm gonna say something. You gotta say the first thing that pops into your head. Please don't
Okay.
be like Chris Cormier and think about it for 5 minutes and answer the
I
question.
take.
All right. We yell at him 50 times for this. All right. So let me
Okay.
know when you're ready. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Favorite cheat meal?
McDonald's
Nice. Are you a pusher or are you a puller?
pusher.
Heaviest squat?
7 plates on the Smith squat.
Nice. Favorite body part to train?
Arms.
Favorite bodybuilder of all time?
Oh, Dorian Yates.
In what show did you have your best overall package?
Texas Pro 2025.
100% Nick Walker versus 100% Branch Warren. Who wins?
Oh shit, Branch Warren.
Okay. 100% Hottie Chupon versus 100% Kai Green. Who wins?
Hottie.
Worst part of bodybuilding?
The lack of energy when you're getting ready for a show.
Best part of bodybuilding?
The feeling of winning.
Favorite football team?
Dallas Cowboys.
I knew that.
Okay.
That's a stupid question right there. You live in Texas. Pizza or burgers?
Oh fuck. Pizza.
Worst injury?
The torn labrum.
Okay, this is one from me. 100% Joe, 100% good Vito. Who wins?
Oh, shit. Honestly, right now, currently,
Right now.
good Vito. Good
Okay.
Vito.
You're honest. Did you finally get your passport? And that's the one that you're going to understand and laugh at. See, there he's laughing. I've been watching those podcasts. Did you get your passport?
No, I haven't. And I have a reason, though, because I've been traveling a lot. So
For
I
fuck's
just
sake,
haven't had the
get your
time.
passport, man. You're an IFBB pro.
See, I haven't got to
You're
see
getting a
him.
ton
I
of money guest
haven't got
posting
to
at
see him on other shows. So this is all new for me, learning Joe.
That's hilarious. I've
right.
been waiting for someone else to ask me that, so I'm glad you asked me. That's funny.
All right. You answered it, but I'll ask it again. Who's winning the Olympia this year?
Nick Walker.
Okay. What's your strongest pose?
My back double bicep.
Your weakest pose?
My front double bicep.
What's the best day in your life?
The day I met my wife.
Oh, good answer. Worst day of your life? I think I know the answer to this.
The day I lost my dad.
Right. 100% Flex Wheeler versus 100% Kevin Levrone. Who wins?
Oh, Flex Wheeler.
100% Keon versus 100% Flex Lewis. Who wins?
Oh, Keon.
There you go. Best advice to the new generation of kids coming up.
If you're going to do this bodybuilding thing, do it because you love it. Don't expect anything from it. Just do it because you love it.
Great answer.
Awesome.
Great answer. That's it, man. Hey, it's the first time I met you. You're a fucking great guy. I can tell the good ones from the bad ones. You're a good guy. Congratulations on becoming a dad. You're lucky you didn't have a girl because she would have smacked you around like you could possibly imagine. So, good luck with everything, man. You're going to do a lot of damage, and I meant what I said. I think that if you came in a little bit sharper, you would have won that pro show and got your Olympia qualifications. Yeah. Just that thing, and you feel that you're filling out. Control the waistline, and you're there, brother.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that, guys.
I found out about you not too long ago. I'm like, this guy's a freak. And, I saw little snippets of you, too. I was like, you seem like a nice guy, too. So, of course, we wanted to get you on here, and we'd love to have you back. And good luck to you. And, congrats on your newborn and all that, man. You seem like you have, all your ducks in a row, and you're doing good, man. So, thanks for coming on, and we'll have you back soon, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be back, guys. I really enjoyed this one. Thank you.
Take care, brother.
Peace out,
Bye,
Joe.
guys.
Later.
Take care.
Bye.